Well, artificial sweeteners, of course, have been the secret to losing weight effortlessly. All you got to do is fix the problem. And the problem, as most people think of it, is the sugar. I mean, after all, sugar is calories. It's the most available form of calories that we consume. And sugar is present in diabetics, and a good share of our diabetics, particularly type 2 diabetics, are very overweight. So the answer to diabetes and to the weight problem is to get rid of the sugar. But you can't get rid of the sugar because it tastes good. So you got to find something that tastes good like sugar, which they never do. That's one of the things about these sugar substitutes, artificial sweeteners, is they never live up to the bill. They never taste like real natural sugars do, like white sugar, brown sugar, maple syrup, agave. They never quite have that flavor. They have a kind of a chemical flavor associated with them, in my opinion, when I've tried them. Artificial sweeteners, they really couldn't accomplish a solution to your weight loss problem when you think about the fact that we're dealing with only a small number of calories. A teaspoon of sugar is like 16 calories. You maybe eat 2,000 or 3,000 calories a day. How could substituting 16 calories of pure sugar with an artificial sweetener make a difference when you're consuming 2,000 to 3,000 calories a day? It can't, it doesn't. But it may make the difference as to whether you eat your oatmeal or not, which will cause you to get the positive effects you're looking for. The other thing you need to understand is that the human body, is very poor at doing something called de novo lipogenesis. Okay, de novo, like new, de novo, lipogenesis, like the production of fat, lipogenesis. De novo lipogenesis, that's a conversion of sugar into fat. Cows are good at it, pigs are pretty good at it, but people are terrible at it. When we consume extra sugar, the body does not convert much of that. In fact, very little of it. In fact, the scientific literature says that de novo lipogenesis is insignificant in the human being. What happens is that extra sugar that you eat is not turned into body fat. What happens to it? It's burned off as calories, as heat in your breath, heat in your body, activities, motions, etc. Not observable physical activity, but just kind of like sitting around. Metabolism increases and you burn off the extra sugar. So the idea that substituting sugar for artificial sweetener is going to solve the problem is in contrast to the basic metabolism of the human body, to our basic understanding of how the body works. The body does not participate in de novo lipogenesis to any great extent or efficiency. So what is the bad side of eating sugar that maybe artificial sweeteners would help? Well, bacteria in your mouth love sugar, so they're going to grow and maybe damage the enamel and maybe create caries, dental cavities. That's not such a good thing. And because the body does convert some sugar into fat, we have an elevation in triglycerides, which are blood fats that occur. And that's been associated with heart disease, not strongly, but a little bit. And then there's a problem with sugar being empty calories, which is not solved by eating artificial sugar. Artificial sugar has nothing else. In fact, it doesn't even have calories in it. It doesn't even have sugar in it. So it's just a bunch of chemicals, the artificial sweeteners. So yeah, they can't possibly be better in that particular concern and criticism I'd have about simple sugar. It's simple. It's empty calories is what it is. You haven't heard me mention anything about the toxicity of these particular chemicals that are used. And there are a whole bunch of toxicities that's been established, all the way from cancer to heart disease to abdominal cramps. All kinds of things have been associated with artificial sweeteners. And I don't really have the time or interest in learning all the side effects and claims that have been made to tell you that these are an unhealthy thing to include in your diet. One other thing that I might add to this whole conversation is those of you who are trying to lose weight by taking in artificial sweeteners, you must understand that when the body perceives sweetness, it releases insulin, and insulin drives fat into the fat cells. So you don't reduce the amount of calories consumed in the same number that you think you did, because the body does perceive the sweetness and causes to store a little extra fat. I think that's enough reason for you to avoid eating artificial sweeteners. And our claim and the way we take care of people at our program is that we want you to eat the food. We want you to like the food. And the reason you have a hesitation about the new foods that we introduce you to is because you like salt and you like sugar. So as a compromise to putting a little bit of sugar on your oatmeal, a little salt on your potatoes, you at least will eat the food. You know how Mary Poppins said it, didn't she say it? A little bit of sugar makes the medicine go down. I want you to eat the starch and the non-starchy vegetables and a few fruits. So if I can get you to do that more easily, more successfully by adding a little bit of sugar and salt to the food on the surface, that's where I'll add it, is on the surface, I'd like to do that.